Okay, thank you for joining us this evening in our new vendors for ASTI. Renee, it's all yours.
Thank you, Sarah. So I do want to welcome everybody tonight or this afternoon, wherever you are, for joining us. And we did want to recognize some of the newer vendors who are joining us this year at ASTI in Tampa or in St. Pete. And I'm not going to delay this anymore because I want them to have an opportunity to speak and tell us what they're bringing to the table this year and showing everybody what they have to offer. So I'm going to start with Angela, who is with Taxonista. Angela, welcome. Will you just jump right in and tell us what you're going to show us this year?
Absolutely, and just cut me off when you need to, okay? So I am a tax accountant, and I have an amazing full-service CPA accounting CFO firm. I'm located in Arizona. I've been working with Barb and Tom Kassane with Tiger Mechanical for, I think they said 5 years, but I know it's been longer than that, or I've known them longer than that. I do also work with another large firm there with which is Lake Appliance and other vendors and stuff like that as well. I've been doing this for like 32 years. I have done everything from public accounting, corporate accounting, all that kind of fun stuff, and then went off on my own. And that's when the real fun started. So I know people think taxes, and accounting, it's so boring. And it's like, but it's not. I have really got a great presentation. I can share stories with you that are amazing. It's, I can't wait to write the book when I retire. I just can't do it now because people will know that that's them in the book, right? Even though I won't say names. So my key and what I would like to do to help people is to make sure that they understand what is really necessary to adequately run their business and make them go, from this level to the next level. I started with the Kassanes, with Tiger, and they were small, and they're not small anymore. So I started with another company that started off with a few $100,000 in revenue, and now they're looking to sell their business for 7 to 9 million. They're getting multiple offers. So I just live, breathe, and eat numbers and everything about my clients because it's not just about what's on the paper, and it's not just about saving taxes. I know, right? It's not always. It is, are you looking to sell your business, right? Then you want to keep everything as high as possible. So there's a lot of strategy in there. And me and my team, just really get in and really get to know you and your business and what the goals are. And if you're not even sure what your goals are, then we help you at least set some of those goals, right? Because you don't wake up, get in your car, and drive around hoping you're going to figure out where you want to go. You have an idea, you have a plan. So why do so many small business owners not have goals? They just wake up, they do what they do best, and they go to sleep and they do the same thing again without specific goals. So I'm hoping to be able to share some fun and some great stories, some ways to keep people completely out of an IRS audit. I have never failed an IRS audit on a tax return that my firm or myself has prepared. Never. Okay. I do get those clients that are extremely aggressive, whatever you want to call it. But it doesn't matter. I guide them into the best possible way of tax savings and or the revenue and net revenue maximum. So, I like to work with people. I don't know what else you normally do, Renee, for introducing people.
I just have a quick question. So
Yeah.
we know you're going to be a vendor at ASTI, which we're really excited about, but you're also, why should people come to your class? You said the description might be boring or it might sound boring, but you're exciting and fun. So can you elaborate a little bit?
Okay. So yes. Sometimes people aren't interested or they don't come because they figure, my wife, my husband, my bookkeeper, they'll take care of it. And these are areas that can end your business. And it's super important that you're aware of even the most top level information. I give you key points and key takeaways. The one thing I hate most is wasting time and resources because you can't get that back. Okay, it's gone. So the reason why I think you should come to some of my seminars that I'm doing, and I'm hoping to do a bunch, is because I can give you quick, fast, and easy ways to make sure that you're compliant, make sure that you are protected with the IRS, with employees, make sure that you can understand how to read your financials, okay? Because if you could read it, why would you need us, right? I mean, yeah, to maybe do it, but most people don't even know how to read it. They look at it and they're like, oh yeah, that looks great, and they eyes glaze over. That'd be like me looking at like a report from how my dishwasher is doing. I'd be like, oh yeah, great, thank you. Can you fix it? And that's the same kind of thing here for taxes and for your numbers, because I deal with both teams, systems, accounting, sales tax, payroll tax, how your entity is selected. So I've got a large team, a large small team. So we have total of us, we're about 15 depending on the time of the year. And I don't believe, and I'm hoping you guys don't either, but not every repair person can do every project, right? So why would you expect an accountant that you're dealing with now or a bookkeeper to be able to do it all? So in my firm, I find what is the best and highest use of that person. What do they do best? I'm not going to try and have somebody that isn't the best in one subject just because, we want you to keep in contact with one person. So we have niches and people within specific niches, but you know what? We make it fun because I grew up in pantyhose and pumps and closed-toed shoes and all that kind of stuff. And now I deal with clients at their level, and it's so much more fun to get involved in your business. I usually social media my clients because shockingly, they'll post something and I'll be like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, they're starting another business. And so it's really about the whole relationship. And not many people or not many accountants out there are like that, and that was my biggest thing. And even my tax manager comes from an extremely long history of the accounting and tax business in his family and in mine. So it's really just about keeping things light, keeping things compliant, and making it fun. But it's also about just talking about the everyday language, everything that you guys understand, and to make sure that you are educated and understand and are safe.
Well, I have to say you're the first person I've ever heard say tax and fun in the same sentence.
Yeah, it can be.
So good for you, first of all. And I think a lot of people on this call tonight and probably in place at ASTI when it happens are going to hold you to that. You got to make it fun.
That's fine.
Because that's a tough one, but I think you can do it. So thank you so much. I know you have an obligation, so unless you have anything else to add or if anybody has any questions, we'll let you transition to phone if you want.
Well, and I'm going to go ahead and hang on just to see for a little bit because I wasn't sure how long it was going to be, but I can't wait to see you guys. I assure you that you are going to laugh and have fun.
Thanks, Angela. We look forward to it.
Thank you.
Yes. So I want to welcome, I see some people joining and still kind of getting on. For those of you who are joined a little bit late, that was Angela with Taxinista. She's going to be at ASTI this year. She's going to be talking, of course, about some taxes and some other things too, but she promises to make it fun. So if you missed that part, we are recording, so you can grab that later whenever it comes out for a replay. So I want to transition over to Chris. Chris, how are you tonight? Or this afternoon, wherever you are.
Yeah, who knows these days, right? Thank you. I'm good. I came off a long meeting today, but I'm good. So I'll introduce myself real quick. I'll be brief. My name's Chris. I'm with Career Plug, and Career Plug is a recruiting and hiring software. So why would you use it? You use it to help you grow your business and help you recruit the staff that you need and the employees that you need, and then ultimately hire them. So you can check out all the interesting facts about Career Plug on our website, but the most important thing is that all of you on the call actually have a Career Plug account. You all have a free Career Plug account, in fact, that you can activate and be able to post your open job opportunities directly to the exclusive job board that you have access because you're part of this association. And if you want to upgrade and get more bells and whistles, you can do that as well and pay a small subscription fee. So we'll be a vendor. We also are going to run a 90-minute session, and I will be at the event talking about labor. So why would you want to actually come and listen to that? We're going to do this in two parts because 90 minutes is a long time. So we're going to do it in two parts. The first part's going to be how do you recruit and hire staff to grow your business? Period. Very basic. It's going to give you tactical skills, especially if you're not familiar or used to recruiting and growing your team. I'm going to give you the things that work. So things you're going to be able to go home with and actually implement in your business. Why? Because I actually have done it. So I've been a contractor. I've run a contracting business. I've also led a franchise organization with 100 different locations around the United States and Canada. So I know what it takes to do that. And then we're taking all of our best practices from our 14,000 clients, and we're going to share that with you. So here's how you recruit and hire. The second part of the session is going to be all about how do you use the software to do it. So we're going to actually do a workshop where we're going to help you log in. We're going to show you how to post jobs, how to recruit employees, how to go through it. So if you're somebody who's not super familiar or comfortable with technology, we'll help you walk through it and we'll help hold your hand. If you're somebody who is really familiar and comfortable with technology, you're going to learn it real quick and you're going to be able to ask all kinds of questions to make you a superstar. So we're going to have some fun. Looking forward to getting down into Florida and enjoying some warmer weather and meeting all of you and helping you guys grow your businesses.
Great. Well, thank you so much for giving us the detail on that. For those of you who are not familiar or not as familiar as you should be, they did join our membership benefits this past year since we're over the new year now. So it was last year when they came on board. And we were very, very happy to have them join the team. So I know a lot of us are in the same boat trying to hire right now, and what they offer is very beneficial. Not to play on words, because I've already said they were benefits. But if you haven't looked at that on our website at United Appliance Servicers Association, please go in and take a look at what they have to offer and educate yourself. And that way, when you do come to ASTI, you can sit down and kind of talk with them and explore those options a little bit more. So thank you again, Chris. Okay, so although the name says Courtney on the screen, it is not Courtney, it's Sydney. Sydney with Aquant. And am I pronouncing that correctly, the Aquant? Oh, you're on mute.
Aquant, but that's fine. Yes, thank you. Yes, hello, my name is Sydney Lara, aka Courtney Stafford. I am with Aquant, which is a AI software for service. I spent 25 years running service organizations, starting out as a technician, all the way to be a vice president of North America over the past 6 years, and then found a product that really emphasizes how appliance companies and or any type of business that has technicians or field repair, we offer a product that allows less tenured, less senior people to perform work like a senior technician through artificial intelligence. What we do essentially is look at all the work performed over time of key, top performing technicians, and we give those solutions and answers and questions through a very automated process to ramp up the level of the newer technicians. We believe that's more important now than ever with the pandemic, with churn, with different age groups retiring, et cetera. So we offer a solution that's very, very easy to adapt into your business. It allows you to give that technician training out of the box, as well as we offer other products like warranty intelligence to help streamline the warranty approval process, as well as what we call a product called Service Insights, which will give the manager, director, vice president level insights, no pun intended, to your operations, where you're performing good on what products, which ones are more costly as a service, where you might have quality issues, et cetera. So we have a very in-depth software solution that allows service companies to get a better grasp on their operations and to bring to clear visibility where they have opportunity to improve their business. So we'll have a work session over lunch, kind of demonstrating how that works. We will have a meet and greet and a beer tasting event at our booth as well. So we encourage everyone to come. I see some thumbs up. Come enjoy the beer. We love to get beer away and have conversation and meet people as well. So looking forward to being there as well and meeting everyone. And again, coming from Chicago, looking for some good weather as well.
Yeah, we're hoping so. Just to give everybody a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, I looked at the program today for Aquant, and it's it's a series, and I'm not going to explain all of this certainly, but there's filters and questions that you would answer that kind of drill down into what's going on with the product that you're working on in the home. So for lack of a better way to say this, it's kind of a tech support at your fingertips. Would you agree with that, or am I?
Yeah, Renee, thank you. It is, and if those are thinking, hey, it's a wiki page or a automated troubleshooting, what makes us unique? It's that we're taking historic invoices and looking at the symptom and solution, and then we compile that based off of the successful repair. So as we provide solutions to symptoms, we're able to optimize the repairs based on history, which may not align to troubleshooting manuals.
And this is not solely compiled information either, as I understand it. You have some technical staff on hand as well, do you not?
We do. We support customers. I mean, we have a team. It's growing so fast I can't keep up, but at least 50 data scientists in Israel, significant, humongous. And then when we get involved with customers, we have a customer support team that will not just sell, we implement at free of cost, and then we walk you through the journey through implementation, making sure level of comfort and understanding and use of the product as well.
Okay. I just wanted to expand on that a little bit because, like I said, I go and do some background on everybody that I try to talk to on happy hour so that I kind of know what they're bringing to the table. So I would encourage everybody to stop by the booth for Aquant. It is a very interesting concept, and I think a lot of people will be interested to take a look at what they have. So thank you again.
Thank you.
And for the beer, right?
Yeah.
That too.
Yes, and for the beer as well.
We'll have plenty. Stop by.
All right, good deal. So before I want to move to Jim next, I just want to mention too that we got some new information on the pirate cruise that's going to be sponsored by Encompass and NSA. So if most of you have been to ASTI in the past, you know Encompass has done some very fun events for us. And we had mini golf the last time we were in St. Pete. When we did ASTI Light, they did a boat ride or a boat tour in San Antonio. So this year they're going to do what they're calling it the Pirate Cruise. It is on the bay there in Tampa. They're doing it 2 nights, and it's going to be the 16th and the 17th from 5 in the evening to 6:30. I believe a sign-up sheet is going to come out in advance of that, but I don't think it's released just yet. So keep your eyes open for that. They're going to serve refreshments and that sort of thing. So it's always a really good time. If any of you have participated in their events in the past, it's always a really good time. So don't miss out on that like I almost did in San Antonio. And make sure you get on that boat cruise if you can. So Jim, I'm going to go over to you with iWallet. And
right.
Tell us all about what iWallet can do for our companies.
Sure. Can I share the screen?
If you'd like, sure.
Let me see if I can do that. Can you guys see it? All
Yes,
right.
I can see it.
Perfect. So, hi everybody. My name is Jim Colchin. Calling in from San Francisco, California. I'm a founder and CEO of a company called iWallet, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. Very passionate about appliance repair. I have deep roots in appliance repair, and we out there built a payments app for appliance repair industry. As you can see, it's an app that I've been through a few Facebook groups, and it's a kind of a common knowledge that there is no solution for multi-tech companies out there to cash checks, and kind of check cashing is a difficult task, and we've built a solution where your technicians can use our app to process checks in the field. We kind of call it easier, smarter, faster checks processing, and the benefits are no more lost or stolen checks, no more bad checks, no more trips to the bank, and no more waiting on checks in the mail. The app has unlimited free sub accounts, so you can invite your technicians over. There are no contracts, no hardware, no setup costs, no cancellation fee, no daily or weekly transaction limits. We also offer credit card processing, both a traditional where you pay the fee, and a surcharging capability, which is quite new. We have a built-in fraud protection. All checks are scanned in real time to prevent bad checks. We have partnered with Wells Fargo and Fifth Third, and we're a very safe, trusted, and secure app with high encryption levels, bank level security. We're very sign secured, and we do not sell or share your information. Also wanted to add that I'm passionate about helping appliance repair entrepreneurs. We're doing something with Paul McDonald. I hope, depending on how the conversations go there, but we might have something interesting going on, some surprise at ASTI. It's our first time at ASTI, by the way. We're very excited. We also have a keg of beer. You're welcome to stop by, maybe even 2 kegs, depending on the demand. But it's looking like it's going to be a lot of fun. Over 620 people so far, right? So lots of beer, lots of fun. Going to give away an iPad mini for those that sign up for demo with us and stop by. We are also going to be next to Marcone. Marcone is our exclusive partner. Looking forward to see you there.
We'll make sure and put you guys far apart from each other.
Can I ask something real quick?
Please.
Sure. Okay. So how are they getting the tag? Can we talk about this offline? Because
sure.
If they're doing a
you want one in your class, don't you, Angela?
I'm going to one up.
Come to Angela's class. She's serving beer at 8 a.m.
Or a margarita machine.
Definitely. We can touch base on this tomorrow, Angela, for sure.
Okay, let's make sure we do that.
Yes.
So thank you, Jim. I appreciate the information on iWallet. We look forward to talking about that as well, because I know a lot of people right now, that's a very difficult thing, and collections, as far as checks are concerned, has changed quite a bit over the years, and so it's a very good solution for a lot of people, so we'll look at that. I wanted to open it up as well for questions, if you guys don't mind. If we have any questions from the people who are participating, I'd love to take a few. If anybody has any, please feel free.
I'd like to introduce Mark Politz real quick. Mark, he is with Nationwide, and this is their first time coming to ASTI as well. So another new vendor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He will be there representing. No, he just jumped on. He'll be here representing Skills USA, but he works for Nationwide recently. So Mark, do you want to just say a quick little thing?
Yeah, please do. You weren't on my list, and I apologize for overlooking.
No, I just saw him on there, and I was like, oh,
yeah, please jump right in.
Well, I was taking notes to determine which booths I wanted to go to with all of the alcohol being given away. And also, is there going to be an Uber there to get us back to the room after all of these adult beverages?
There will be, yes, we can make sure you get back to your room safely.
There'll be assistance.
He's on the line. I know he'll drag me to my room. My name is Mark Politz. I'm employed by Nationwide Marketing Group, a buying group, and we represent about 5,500 independent retail organizations that accounts for about 14,000 storefronts across the nation. And we have our appliance division has what we call the Service Leaders Network. And I'm the director of service for the Service Leaders Network, and I create programs, discount programs, training programs, recruitment programs that benefit our members. And so we will be there. This will be our first foray into the service conventions as nationwide. For some of you on here that I recognize, of course, I've been a participant of UASA for decades, as well as some of the others, and have trained at the UASA conventions as well with the many multiple manufacturers that I have been employed with in my past. I have a very checkered past, if you want to call it that, with some of the manufacturers. But I personally will be there representing Skills USA, which is my passion. We will be one of several educational organizations that train technicians, have training programs, recruitment programs for technicians. So we'll be there. I'll be there along with Greg Doster representing Skills USA. Mike Bassett, who's on the line now, is our Florida State Coordinator for Skills USA. He'll be getting busy here pretty soon, putting contests together within our state, and we'll be busy putting contests together throughout the nation over the next 6 months. But stop by and see us. We would love to meet you. We're always looking for opportunities to expand education, to expand major appliance curriculum in schools throughout the U.S. We've got the resources. We've got 20 folks on our technical committee. Of those, at least 5 or 6 of them are manufacturers that support us with product and training materials. So stop on by and visit us, and we'll tell you a little bit more about it. And since we are an educational organization, I don't know that we can serve alcohol. Maybe we'll have some mints at the table, something like that.
And if you're not at the booth, we can find you at one of the other ones that is serving alcohol, right?
Yes.
And I just wanted to play off Mark. You said you've been with many different organizations. A lot of people say who haven't been to ASTI before that it's like a big family reunion, just with different shirts every year.
Does anybody wear a medium and want some Samsung shirts?
I think there's a whole website for that, Mark, if you'd like to. Thank you, though. I appreciate you telling us what you have brought to this year's ASTI. And also, I really appreciate you bringing Skills USA into that conversation, because that's a very important organization. That's we're all looking at ways to train and attract people to our industry. And so I think Skills does a good job of inspiring some of the younger people to look at us and look at our industry as an option for their career as opposed to just a job. And so, one of the things I say to people who apply with our company is, are you looking for a career? Or are you looking for a job? Because this is a career. And so I think Skills does a lot for us. So thank you for bringing that up.
We appreciate your support.
Absolutely. So I will, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and ask, does anybody have any questions for anybody who's spoken? I would love to entertain some conversation around and some excitement around these wonderful new vendors that are coming this year.
Jim, I just wanted to say I think your idea is good, especially where I think your thing is going to come into play really well is for remote techs, where companies actually service another city and getting those checks back to the main office. I think you'll have a good market right there. Just wanted to say that. And Angela, I just was just kind of curious, is service companies the only type of companies that you do accounting for? Or is it like a lot of other as well?
No, we're a full service firm. So the majority are service. So we've got appliance repair, all the trades, the HVAC, plumbing, landscaping, landscape architects, attorneys, doctors. Yes, service. We do have, I don't like restaurants at all. I will refer you out for a restaurant. We do have product-based people. I've got Amazon people. I've got, more of an appliance person or a trades that sells items that we've got to do sales tax for in multiple states that are not just service. So no, it's not just appliance repair at all. But we do have a heavy service versus, let's say, restaurant or large inventory people. We do have inventory, but not like massive.
No, that's good. I think it's important to have someone such as yourself that is familiar with our industry, because you can take the knowledge what somebody else is doing and then say, oh, hey, have you thought about doing something like this?
Right. So I do try and niche into some services because, why reinvent the wheel when you can save from other mistakes, right?
Sure.
And so in that service industry, I do try and home in on, similar industries if possible. That's why that Tom recommended that I come to this one, is because I think he tried to get me there last year. I don't know why I didn't come. I'm so sorry. But I think he tried to, and it's just because I've been working with him for a while, and we meet a lot and we go through numbers and everything in detail. He didn't start off that way, but when he did, it just sort of skyrocketed.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, David.
Appreciate that, David. So anybody else want to continue that conversation or strike up a new one with someone else? I would welcome any questions for anybody right now. We've got an open forum. And if you're joining right now, it's we're about a half hour into this happy hour, and everybody's already spoken as far as, the introductions and telling what their product is and what they're going to be talking about at ASTI. So this is being recorded, so you can check in later and hear the entire thing at a later time. So wanted to touch back with anybody who might have something they want to clarify or discuss again, and we'll go around one more time. I know, let's go back. Chris, are you still there? I know
He jumped off.
Did he jump off? Okay.
Sorry, I'm still here. Yeah.
Oh, you are there. Okay, cool.
Sorry.
No, I am.
You disappeared from my screen.
I went dark.
Well, you never know. You never know. So just for a moment, will you expand a little bit on, I know you went into what you're going to talk about, but tell us about how the growth has been for your particular industry and lately in this past 24 months with hiring being such a struggle for everybody. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's the number one pain that I think most people on this call probably feel. Just find good people.
Right.
So I don't necessarily think you're asking about our company. Like we've grown tremendously because we just lucked into the right industry, I think. But
right.
We've seen a lot of companies, especially in the service sector, struggle, and they're struggling because of a number of reasons. We'll talk about all of them at the session, and then how to counter them. But we are seeing a lot of our clients succeed as well. And they're just learning the tactics that work. I mean, there's no silver bullet. I'm not going to give you guys a magic bean when you show up and, tell you where the room is, where all the great contractors are. But I'll show you some tactics and some tips that are going to really help, and some things that are useful to be able to find them and evaluate them, so you can get them on your team and working and making ultimately you more money. So I don't know if that's what you were looking for, but we've seen a lot of people.
No, it's very helpful, because in order to do what it is we do, we have to have, like everybody else, we have to have staff, and we have to have the right person in the right position. And so when I say struggle, that's no exaggeration. It's been rough on a lot of people. And so when Career Plug came as one of the member benefits, we were all very excited to have that opportunity, because it's almost like beating your head up against a wall sometimes. So we're looking for answers. So anything you can throw to this industry's direction, we would be welcoming at this point. So
yeah. One of the fun things I will share with you that we are working on and will continue in 2022 is being able to turn your website into a job board and make it really a niche location for future contractors to find, future employees that want to be in this industry find. And so, and that's all free. It's available. So we've done that, and we're giving everybody an account to be able to do that. That's going to take a little time, but if we all work together on that, what essentially, we could be talking 5 years from now, Renee, is that you've created the place where, if you want to be in the service industry, this is where you go, right? This is your landing place. And this is where you can find all your jobs too. So we're going to continue to work on that.
Good. Thank you. So, Jim, I want to circle back around to you and talk for a minute. I know you were saying that the product is extremely helpful with fraud protection and protecting against one of the things, is checks, because a lot of people have gone away from checks in this industry for that reason, because we end up chasing money. So, talk to us for a moment about the concept that you have. And I know I read up on it a little bit. You take the picture of the check and it automatically does the work for us. So, as we were talking about remote technicians, that's very instrumental in being able to get that money where it needs to be without having the trafficking of, 4 or 5 days of checks coming back to the main office. So talk to us a moment about that and how it prevents us from losing money.
Right. So the way it works is kind of very similar and very familiar to what we already all know in our personal mobile banking, right? When you take a picture of your check. The problem comes in when you can't really give access to your corporate bank account to all of your technicians, right? And that's when we all kind of stuck with this and have to process it the old way by going to the branch, or, using the machine at the office, or, an ATM machine. So iWallet is able to just, create a sub account for technician. And by the way, there are 2 ways of using the system. You can either use an app. We have an Android and iPhone app, or you can integrate it into your software, whatever software you use. Now we're kind of trying to actively integrate it into Rosware, or at least make it easier for Rosware to use it. And then hopefully one day it will be all integrated into one app. But we have this API that can connect any of the apps out there. And then the idea is that once you take a picture of the check, the system automatically recognizes the so-called MICR, this little magnetic number at the bottom with account and routing number. And it can run it against the database of bad checks and through some proprietary databases, and it can prevent a bad check writer from giving you a bad check. Another thing that we have is one of my inventions that's currently patent pending is called Secure Check, where you take a credit card on file. It doesn't charge the card, it just pre-authorizes the card, which doesn't cost anything. One of the reasons why we like to take checks is because there are no fees involved, right? Nobody wants to pay that 2.5%, 3%. And with the secure check, the card is authorized for this amount, and as soon as the check is cleared, the amount is released. Or if the check did not clear, then you capture the funds. So that's kind of the two main ways for us to prevent bad checks.
So that's sort of a backup system to ensuring that the check clears the bank.
Right, correct.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know we said it was in real time. So thinking in terms of a technician in the field, in a remote area, if he runs a check, what's the average wait time for him to understand whether or not he can go ahead and move on that? Or is it just automatic, he takes it regardless, and it's all done behind the curtain? Tell me.
No, yeah, it's real time. It takes about 5 seconds max to deposit the check. Usually our goal is to reduce it down to half a second. But sometimes you have bad connection, right? Things might happen. And there is this offline question, where you're up in the mountains somewhere. Here in California, it happens a lot where technicians do not have access, and sometimes they ask for Wi-Fi from customers, but that's a separate question. Yeah, the checks processing is real time. And you get the approval number right away if it goes through. And then, we do have some capabilities of improving the image quality and the optical character recognition, so that, there's a much higher chance for a check to go through. Looks like somebody has a question.
Yeah, hey, I was wondering, so you might have just said this in other words, but the check clears right away?
No. So the system is called a Check 21 system, which a law that passed in 2003, and looks like it took 19 years to get to this point, right? But it still runs on ACH rails, and ACH is this old school system that still takes 24 hours to clear. And there are newer systems out there called RTP, real-time processing, which we're working on, but it's not available yet. So typically, our partner bank does not allow funds to be available. They hold it for usually for 2 days, and then once we have the relationship, once we know that the customer is solid, which our industry is considered low risk, unlike casinos, right, and pharmacies out there that sell all kinds of crazy things and have a lot of chargebacks. After a certain time, that amount of time can be reduced. George.
I don't know how to raise my hand. I'm not high tech like that. So I'll just raise my hand. So if you're in a remote area without internet connection, does it save the check until you can get to an internet connection and then it processes it? Or do you kind of just have to take the check and then process it when you get to an internet connection?
Yes, good question, Sarah. Usually, the way it works is you're supposed to have a check anyways. It's a document, right? You can't really get rid of it. So usually you would take it with you anyways. Or if you kind of want to know the answer right away, then you ask for customers Wi-Fi. That's kind of the only workaround.
So all in all, it's going in the direction of saving time anyway, because the processing time, at least you're getting that information over to the bank so they can start working on it, if you will, as opposed to the tech driving around with it in his truck for a day and a half until he can get to the bank or get back to the main office. So there's a certain advantage built into that process as well. So I can see that.
Correct. Checks get lost, get stolen all the time, right? And then your accounts receivables are stretched, right? By the time they send it over to you, by the time you cash it, a lot of time goes by. And then sometimes customers might even call, hey, what's going on with my check? Why didn't you cash it still, right? And this is kind of a modern way of depositing checks for appliance repair companies.
Hey, Jim, this is Mike Bassage.
Hi,
I wonder if you can expound on, you had said something about having a credit card to back it up. So do you get a credit card from the customer then as well, or?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and customers are usually fine with it. I know this is kind of new thing to the world, and a lot of the technicians and owners are worried about customers reacting negatively to this, but it's actually not a problem at all, because those customers that know that their check is good, they don't worry about it, and they give you a card. And it's usually we find that it works best for amounts, for certain amounts. For example, amounts over $500, you require a card on file to avoid any potential bad checks. And we've seen some good usage of that. Another thing that I should mention that we also added is an ability to add tips. It's not very common in appliance repair industry, to get tips. And one of the reasons why is because there is no mechanism for it. With iWallet, there's an easy way to kind of send customer a text message and tell them that, hey, I just need your signature. And right there on that screen, they have a little tip box on their own phone. So it's easy to add, 5, 10, 15%. And we have a number of technicians that, it's kind of like some technicians don't like it, don't like to have that system, but those that like it absolutely love it because they get a lot more tips.
Also, one other question I've got for you as well. I know there's nothing for free. So obviously there's going to be some type of a transaction fee or a percentage, and how is that based?
Great question. Thank you, Mike. So the way it works is right now, this is a licensed technology by a company in San Diego called MyTech. They kind of own 67 patents around mobile check deposit. And even when you deposit the check in your personal bank account, MyTech usually gets a piece of the action. Great business model. So the way we structured it, if you want to process just the checks, then it's $50 a month, and it covers up to 1,400 checks, and anything over that is 40 cents per check. If you also move your credit card processing to us, and obviously there is a percentage fee on the credit card processing, and then we make checks processing free.
Okay.
Well, good deal. Mike, did you have another question before we move on?
No, but I was just on the phone with Glade before I got on here about another issue, and he didn't let the cat out of the bag, but Jim, you did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I picked up on, I made a little mental note myself, so we appreciate that. Sydney, what I want to ask you is the whole concept for a quant, in my view, has been a long time coming. I think we've all looked for an opportunity to have that resource that we struggle to get, or maybe we are in a position where we're not doing so much warranty, and so these guys are kind of on their own, or in a position where they're struggling with something they haven't touched before. And we all know there's product out there that you walk in the door and the guy says, I don't even know how to get into this thing, and he hopefully says that in his head instead of out loud. But talk to us about the brainchild for this concept, and expand on that a little bit for us, because I know it's welcomed in our industry.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. That's essentially how the business was started almost 6 years ago, was need of how do we close that skills gap. Before the pandemic, it was the aging workforce, the retiring workforce, and how do we recruit people and lessen their ramp up time, their technical training time, and get them to the field faster, is how we were founded. In terms of, sorry, your question was, I'm dropping it.
Just the concept behind it and the structure around how you build that, because I know a lot of companies.
Yes.
That's a struggling point for a lot of companies because it's usually you have either the retired people who are looking to do something a little less but still want to keep their head in the
Correct.
game. Put your hand down, David. You're not ready yet. And then you have the people who everything they gathered to give back to the industry came from a book, and they, pardon the expression, they've not turned a screwdriver very often. So
Correct.
What you're doing for this kind of gap, as we will call it, just is tremendous if everything can kind of all the pieces fall into place. And I know you've been doing it for 6 years. So tell us what motivated and how that's structured around getting that experience in the door.
Yeah, our one of our punchline taglines is 20 years of experience in 20 seconds, right? And it really is how we compile all the data of service invoices within an organization or across an organization, and how we're able to look that technician, did he solve it in an hour versus 2 hours? Was his cost $500 or less than $500? We compile that information and say, okay, this is what we call a successful visit. One thing that we do very unique to refine our data is that we look at a success as a no repeat visit within 30 days. So if that asset for whatever reason got called back, regardless of the issue, we look at it as a customer had to call you back for something. A lot of technicians tend to get defensive with that and say, well, I came in for something completely different. We try to spin it a little bit different and say, well, the customer was, you were there twice within 30 days. So when we start compiling that average, we're trying to, I'll say, show where it's good, where it's ugly, so we know where to focus on, right? And whether that's training on a technology or what we're able to do with that information is take all those successes, and then now based on questions, we're going to ask dynamic questions based on symptoms. And then it's not exactly like a fault tree, because if you answered yes on this particular scenario, the next time you can say no, it's going to bring you down a different path, which is very different than a troubleshooting tree, right? It's live and dynamic, which gives the ability of that less tenured technician or the person who hasn't seen that product in a couple of years to refresh that and have that at their fingertips without having to call someone, without having to go through a deep manual, without having to source it through an electronic manual on their phone. You're asking some questions based dynamically on what's going on, and based on the history of successes, we're able to provide you what that solution is by probability. We can do that for phone fixes. If you want to avoid a truck roll potentially, it may have lower probability, but if you want to try that to get the customer up and running, we'll give you as an option. We can link that.
In terms of a pre-ID is what we're saying.
Correct. Mm-hmm. We're able to link that to knowledge articles or videos. Mm-hmm. So that a technician doesn't remember, here's a solution, but I don't know how to replace that part. We can link it right to that video that might exist on YouTube or within your organization. So the idea is that we're really lessening that ramp up time. We're ensuring that there's consistency of the technician performance, which means ideally improve customer satisfaction. And that's our product called Triage. We are super excited. We'll be talking about more at the show is how we've taken the last few months just to look at very typical products in this industry. And what we're trying to do is bring to some of the most frequent hot and cold products that are used in the industry. And we're building all that infrastructure in place, because sometimes when you bring a new product into our technology, you have to refine it. And we've been working with industry experts over the last few months, bringing to market a product that would be out of the box ready for a lot of service industries that may not have the experience on that particular technology. We're going to be able to provide that for service companies to help bring up that starting ability within their organization. So
Thank you for expanding on that a little bit. I've got like a million questions. I'm not going to ask you a million tonight. I'll only ask 900 or so, but
You have to save them for the ASTI.
I do have a little piece though. I did watch the demo and I noticed that on the triage piece and also on the just the troubleshooting piece as far as that goes, I may be calling it wrong and I apologize for that. But it also threw in a dollar amount. Is that a suggestion for what you should charge for this particular job? And if so, how are you compiling those numbers? Because I know that across the country, we've got different pricing ranges for our area. So tell us about that. Is that an option?
So yeah, if we would show you like dollar, like high cost, low cost, correct? Not the exact dollar amount. And what we would do is based off of when we engage with the company, we upload all that data, whether it's regional to a state or national. So we could separate that by rates that are higher in California and apply filters that way as well. I'm sure directionally it's all going to be the same. The labor rate will be probably the biggest variance within the equation. But when we look at a total solution, we're looking at just labor time on site as well as the parts costs. We exclude travel time because of variability of what may happen in different regions. So when we look at costs, we're strictly looking at labor cost and parts cost. And we would be able to filter by region as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for getting into that a little bit more because I was curious about that piece as well.
Yeah, and one thing that I think maybe I miss is, as we talk about the learning curve, right, and hiring practices, right? So we like to advocate that if you brought on someone, maybe you can broaden your scope of who you're looking at, who is not your traditional HVAC guy or something of that nature, but does have the right people skills, right? And he has the right people skills that would be good for your organization, and our technology can bring him that technical skill set in a shorter period of time. I know that rubs a lot of technical folks with a lot of time in the industry wrong, but the idea is if everyone's performing well, and we can get the senior folks to contribute to those solutions, then the company is going to get better reception in the industry against the competition to the customer, and it makes everyone look better. So yeah.
Thank you. So we're rounding out right at our hour, so we can let everybody go have dinner or finish up their day or whatever it is you need to do. But I do want to ask, does anybody else have questions before we thank everybody and give you an opportunity to have your time back? David, no question? You done?
Here comes Anthony.
I would like to say, oh, go ahead, Anthony.
David. No,
go ahead, buddy.
You're the man. No, you go first. Mine is just a ridiculous question.
Whatever, man.
He wants to know what kind of beer each booth is having.
Sydney, I was just going to say, I don't know how it's all going to work, but there's definitely techs that call in for help. And one of the issues that you have is the tech line guys will say, have you unplugged it and plugged it back in, and there's Anthony's a good, and myself as well. I've been around for a long time, Mike and everybody else. And it's like, dude, get way past that, plugging it in and unplugging it, all of that. Let's skip right to the meat of the problem and let's start there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you're going to be charging by the hour, by the question, or how all that's going to work.
Yeah, ours is a SaaS software model based on usage. And that's grouped in by groups, right? So 0 through 100, whatever the groups are, not in sales, so I don't know the exact numbers, but we're able to answer your question, David, based on skill sets. So if it's a new technician, we can say, hey, this is tenured. We can filter out, so we're not going through those basic, did you plug it in? We have the ability to do that as well.
I almost would say something like getting a database of the technician's cell phone numbers. Yeah. And then routing them to a certain tier group, if you will, so that they can say, hey, have you unplugged it and plugged it back in? But then, someone like me, been around for 38 years, it's like, no, I need to know the exact ohm reading of this blah, blah, blah.
And the great news is we have a mobile app, right? So you could avoid a phone call in and you can put your skill level in there, and then you can get your answers you want without even having to phone in through your phone.
So it's not a phone-in service.
No. It's
Gotcha.
it's
But you offer the option, though, is
Correct.
what.
Yeah. We could implement this into a call center, right? So that technicians in the field could call. But ideally, we would like to have that mobile on your phone or your tablet so you can avoid that phone, making the need for that phone call. Yep.
Wow. I would say a call center, in my opinion, would be rather awesome, actually. That's my thought.
Yep. And we offer for both. It's just, some people love to pick up the phone because they needed that extra piece of security that someone told them to do that. And then others, so we offer the mobile app as well.
All right, Anthony, go ahead, buddy.
No, Sarah read my mind. What kind of beer you guys are giving, and is there limited?
So it'll be house beer, Anthony. So sorry
I could
to
take my own keg.
disappoint.
I could take my own keg if you guys want me.
Yeah.
You could.
We
I
do,
was trying to
we
contribute.
do have one of the gals on our marketing team, her and her husband own a brewery up in the
Nice.
Northeast. So she does have IPAs, all different types of beers. So gotten great reviews, and we typically have a great variety of beers. So yeah, it won't just be Miller Lite. It'll be great stuff. So
No keg
Looking
tins,
forward to you
Anthony.
guys.
And make sure that you catch the presentation. Unless I'm mistaken, I heard it was going to be during one of our lunch hours.
Tuesday.
Okay.
From
That's
12
correct.
to 12:45. Yep.
All right.
We'll be there.
Making sure. All right.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you to everybody who's participated. Thank you so much to the new vendors for bringing your products and
Definitely,
your
yeah.
information to ASTI this year. Everybody's very appreciative to see new faces as well as new products that could revolutionize or even in general improve our industry and our hiring practices, everything across the board. So thank you for that. If everyone is done with questions, then I am happy to say that this was recorded. So pass the word around that we had some really good information, really good speakers, and let other people take advantage of seeing what ASTI is going to bring them this year. So thank you very much. Sarah, I'll let you close everything out.
I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us tonight, which you already did, both vendors and ASTI attendees. And Renee, thank you for hosting. We always appreciate it. You did a great job. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully we'll see you in about 10 days.
yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Thank you, guys.
Stay safe.